What's up, all you beautiful motherfuckers, and welcome to the Green Light Weekend podcast. Everything you hear is alleged and cannot be used against us in a court of law. It also might be vulgar. So if you're an old lady with sensitive ears, you might not listen. Anyway, it is just me today on the intro. We got a little tipsy and didn't record an intro for this one. This one was a little different. We watched the UFC. I think it's UFC 235. We watched that and kind of commentated on it and had some other conversations. So if you don't like the UFC, you might like some of the conversations we were having. It was a good time. We're trying something different. We're calling it the UFC or Green Light Weekend Fight Club. Hashtag no stealing, like the Fight Companion. But yeah, that's our own thing. Other than that, I think that's about it. Check us out, Greenlight Weekend _podcast on Instagram. Send us an email if you have any comments, concerns, questions, dick pics, titty shots. greenlightweekend@gmail.com. Greenlight Weekend on YouTube if you want to see our sexy faces. Greenlight Weekend on Facebook. Make sure to check out the Whiskey Reel. They're a great podcast here in Durango. And Real to Real podcast. Actually, every Thursday there is a open mic at the ranch hosted by our good friend Dave Oakley. Make sure to check that out. If you feel like you got the balls, go up and do some stand-up. I have sucked lately and I have not gone up, but I'm going to go up. Other than that, March 16th, there is a Laugh Therapy stand-up comedy showcase at the Irish Embassy down below. Kate McLaughlin is going to be headlining. She's hilarious. Kate was the winner of the 2018 Next Best Comic of the Four Corners competition and headlined at the Four Corners Comedy Fest. She's hilarious. Check her out. Tyrell Woodward's also going to be there, and Zoe Claire. $10 a person. Doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8. Make sure you're there. Those guys are fucking hilarious. And it's always hosted by Ryan MC. He's pretty funny as well. Other than that, you guys enjoy, and I fucking love you. Thanks for listening. I think we should call it Greenlight Weekend Fight Club.
Greenlight Weekend Fight Club. First rule?
It's better than, I don't know, pull your dick out.
Yeah. Smoke weed, drink beer, have a good fucking time.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So for this podcast, we are watching UFC 235. It's a pay-per-view. We could be at a comedy show right now, but this fight night is a little too sweet to not be home for. And it's one of those that I really don't want to see the results on Instagram before I watch the fights.
Yeah, I really want to see this whole card.
Yeah. It's a really good card. We just saw Jeremy Stephens fight Zabit, and they just call him Zabit because his last name is fucking crazy. But Zabit won by a decision by 1 point, and Jeremy Stephens gave him hell.
Yeah.
I kind of wrote him off. You called it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Zabit won in the end, but
I don't remember what I called.
You called it being...
I'm pretty sure when we were talking about it last week, I was saying Zabit would win.
Mm-hmm.
During the fight, I thought Jeremy Stephens might have won. At the end.
No, you called the Diego Sanchez fight. Yeah. That's what you called, the Mickey Gall Diego Sanchez. Yeah. I thought Mickey Gall was going to have him. No. He's been training with Joe Schilling, and his kickboxing IQ has no doubt improved.
Yeah, Diego Sanchez, that's always been his game, is just kind of pressure.
Yeah, just a scrapper. Classic.
Yeah, he just put him on the ground and kind of beat him up.
Yeah, it was a good scrap, though. We decided to do this podcast because Phil's leaving in a couple weeks, and we thought we'd bank one. We did one earlier today with James, which you might hear later.
Fucking James.
I guess you guys don't even need to know that. We'll just keep it behind the curtain.
Whatever. Now you know.
Now you know.
The more you know.
Yeah, Cody Garbrandt's about to fight Pedro Munoz. I feel like we were having really natural conversation earlier. Now that we're on microphones,
because we're on the mic.
I know, but it's so weird.
We're in the zone. We have to be entertaining. As soon as you hit record,
right? You got to feel like you're entertaining at the very least.
That's what I'm worried about. Stand up, and my fucking laptop sucks.
Yeah, now we already. Well, I guess it's on my account. We could change this if we had to.
Should be able to get it on the old Xbox.
Nice.
In the living room. Never watched a fight in the studio.
No, and definitely never done it on mic. I'm really struggling with what to say. I feel like we were flowing so naturally to the point where I was like, we should definitely start recording this. And now,
yeah, but there was a lot of spaces in between, and it's natural because there's that dead space. We're not trying to entertain anybody.
Right. Maybe I need to lean back, relax. I guess if there's like massive dead space, we could technically edit it.
Edit a little bit. It's natural. As long as it sounds natural, it feels natural.
You don't want a space long enough for somebody to have to check whether their podcast stopped.
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub. So often.
Yeah,
He's just
Fighter
like,
and the Kid.
I'm going to look at this. It's just 30 seconds. Like, God damn it, dude. I was driving a tractor. I pulled the phone out of my pocket.
But there's something to be said about that format because they're definitely big.
Obviously extremely successful, yeah. And I'm a big fan.
We kind of copy that a little bit. Joe Rogan, a little bit of Fighter and the Kid with our conversations.
Right. And we talk about a lot of the same stuff they talk about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just not having a set theme to a show, or, obviously guests are our theme when we have guests. But other than that, it's just conversation and talking about our lives. And
right.
I feel like hopefully that helps some people. Obviously, some people are into it. It's last month wasn't as good as the month before, but it definitely wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but we were close to our best month before that last month.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're still there.
We're definitely in the ballpark of like as good as we've done so far, which is...
Our overall numbers in a year is not bad.
No, it's better than... So I set like a personal goal. I may have told you, I'm not sure. But of like 50 per episode, as like a minimum. If we're not getting 50 as an average after a year, maybe we think about approaching it differently or wrapping it up, whatever. But we're definitely past that. So I think if we can just market a little better with like short clips, and I think when somebody sees a 2-hour video, they just easily bypass it.
Right.
Whereas if we can bait them in with some like 2-3 minute clips.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do with some of those clips that I made. I just need to film more stuff when we have guests.
Yeah.
And when I break out the camera, it like cuts off the conversation because then everybody knows they're being filmed double time.
Whereas this, you can kind of forget just because it's always there. But I like the quality of that one too. Yeah, and just like I like that you have that footage because you don't have the video footage of the podcast and I don't have the raw audio footage, so I can't alter that and you can't alter the video.
Right.
So we're definitely tag teaming and relying on each other.
That's cool.
Pedro Munoz is about to fight Cody Garbrandt.
I got Cody Garbrandt.
Me too.
I like Cody. I don't know. I used to not like him.
Well, he's tattooed. He's beautiful. He's got swagger. His wife is ridiculous looking, and she's a twin.
Yeah. I guess I'm thrown off by cockiness right away. Like, I hated fucking Conor McGregor when he first came on the scene. Yeah. And now I'm buying Proper 12. They only had one bottle when I went and I was looking for some whiskey.
I was surprised there was
one bottle of Proper 12, so I got it. 4 minutes, 51 seconds. At the very first round.
This fight has started. If you're a UFC fan, you most likely have already seen this, but this is what it is. Oh, got a leg lock attempt very early.
A lot more leg locks lately. People have been going for them. I think seems risky because you get hit in the face a lot.
Well, that's the issue. I think when people are rolling, like even I throw a leg lock from time to time if I know I'm not going to hurt somebody, you know what I mean? But yeah, in jiu-jitsu you don't get punched in the face, so I think it's just it's a translation from jiu-jitsu to MMA, and it's also just an opportunity when you feel it, you feel silly for not at least trying, you know, because you might catch it.
But at the same time, if that shit's deep, you don't want to punch somebody in the face. You just want to tap.
You can't.
Because if you fucking you rip an ankle or rip your knee, like you're done.
Like an ankle lock is, I feel like you got a little more leniency, but like a heel hook, you will tear your knee apart. And yeah, you got to tap. It is a terrifying feeling.
Yeah, I feel like I've got bad knees.
Mine are weak. I hurt one the other day. I was trying to pull off a calf slicer, and Moberg just defended so effectively that I wouldn't let go. That's what fucked me. And I popped my knee, and it 2 weeks just really hurt, really uncomfortable. It just felt unstable. This is by far the most fight talk we've ever had on a podcast, which is interesting.
That's the Fight Club.
It's a part of our life.
Green Light Weekend Fight Club.
Yeah. No, that's a good name for it.
You can't still fight companion.
No, obviously.
We should have Jason on, that I used to work with.
Yeah, I'd be down.
He's a fight nerd. He's a nerd just in general, but he's a good conversationalist.
Nice.
He can hold a good... He's funny as fuck, too.
Yeah.
I think he would be good doing stand-up.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to really get to know him. I think I met him only in Denver, and it was so quick.
Right.
Like,
we were so haggard that day. Like, me, you, and Pat were just barely moving.
Denver took our the pep out of our step a little bit.
It was fun.
Well, we went and watched fights. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Wait in line for 10 minutes, take a piss, that kind of thing. Pay $14 for a beer.
To hear people scream "boo" behind you, that drives me the most.
That was the worst part. Yeah, just
I fucking hate that shit.
The dude that got tickets and took some bimbo. Yeah. Just like, boo! Like,
yeah. And then the guy right behind us was trying to explain stuff to these girls, and it was just so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about.
He's just trying to get pussy.
I understand.
I know what I'm talking about. Look at me. I'm the authority. So far, good scrap. I've kind of been looking at Phil.
I'm beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to shave my head.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I already said this in the last podcast, but...
Might come out in 3 weeks. Who knows?
Yeah.
James can go fuck himself as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to listen to something called Fight Anything. So
maybe.
I feel like we're open to talk as much shit about James as we want. I invited him. He was like, yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
I like to give James shit about being a terrorist and homeless.
Yeah, I mean, as far as looks go, he's not far off.
He was like, I saved a homeless guy from the cops.
You want to hear? I was kind of a dick earlier. I feel like a bad person. So I was crossing Maine from college going towards Camino, right? And it was a green light. The crosswalk was not good, and this dude was walking as slow as possible across the crosswalk. There was like a bunch of us, and we had to stop for him, and he was just like not concerned, looked over at the cars and just kept walking as slow as possible. And I went to the ATM at the bank, went around the block, and he was walking across that road, and he just started approaching my window, and it was clearing the road, so I just drove off. Yeah. But I was like, fuck, man. What if that was like a super dick move, but at the same time, I just hit the ATM, all I had was 20s. Like, I'm not giving this dude a 20.
Right.
For blocking traffic and just making me angry, for one. But at the same time, it was cold, like the weather's shit, But still, I just drove off, and I felt like kind of an asshole. But my upbringing, that's what they teach you to do, man. It's a dangerous situation. That's how people get in really bad situations, letting people in their vehicle, letting people too close. Yeah. And I'm not saying that was what was going on, but it just... I didn't leave because I was scared. I left because I didn't want to fucking deal with it.
It's hard to trust people nowadays. Oh, shit. Cody Garbrandt
just got TKO'd.
That was...
Did TJ Dillashaw break Cody Garbrandt?
I don't know.
Is it a confidence thing?
He was doing pretty good. There was times there that I thought Munoz was going down.
Yeah, that was crazy. Cody Garbrandt, TKO'd.
I got to piss already.
All right.
Sorry, man.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
This is our Let's See What the Fuck Happens podcast. And if it gets released, then it gets released. We'll be back.
My pee was glorious.
Yeah? What color was it?
Yellow.
Yeah?
It was pretty yellow.
Like a strong yellow or like a pale yellow?
Like I probably should drink a little bit more water yellow.
like a 66 that hasn't been repainted, or like a VW bug yellow?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably VW bug yellow.
So more of a noticeable
Nothing
yellow.
scary.
Right. The other
like
day,
rusty brown.
The other day, it was like a few days of plowing snow just in a row, and every once in a while when we're plowing snow for 10, 12 hours, we might drink a beer or two, you know what I mean? And when I start drinking beer, I forget that water exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because it's not nearly as satisfying. You know, you're getting healthier, but you're not getting more unaware of your current shitty situation of plowing snow. So beer just seems like a good idea. But I had to stop and open a gate, and then you drive through, get out, shut the gate, you know, lock it. And I took a piss, and it was like not quite a Fanta orange, but it was aggressive lemonade, like very aggressive lemonade.
I've had those, and it smells. You can smell it.
Well, I think it was like raining, so there wasn't a lot of like fumes going. Everything was kind of getting pushed to the ground, but it was a little bit disturbing.
Yeah, the morning pee after a hard night of drinking like scares me sometimes.
Right.
It's like brown.
You haven't drank water in 8 hours.
That's what's weird when you're drinking beer. It seems like you're hydrated as fuck because your pee's just clear.
Right.
But I don't think
in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely more water in beer than like
whiskey.
Yeah, liquor. But it also, just like coffee, like if you drink Americanos, most of it's water, but the caffeine is dehydrating. So you're not quite like every one of those. You have to drink a cup of plain water.
Right.
And I don't think 8 ounces is like a proper cup. Like I can drink 8 ounces in a gulp, and that's like not satiating to me. Is satiating the word?
You're supposed to drink 8 ounces.
That's what they say, but that's only
glass.
64 ounces. That's
the minimum I think you're supposed to drink every day.
That's like 2 Nalgene's, which is not shit if you're doing anything with your life. Like if you're doing anything like hard, 2 Nalgene's is not enough.
If you're training for like a Grand Canyon hiking trip, you need to definitely drink like a gallon a day.
See, that's extreme as far as examples go for the general public, I feel. But I think a gallon a day is a solid goal for just normal life. And I'm such an alcoholic that when I first started like taking my water drinking seriously, I would drink a gallon by like 2 in the afternoon because I wouldn't let myself start drinking beer till I finished my gallon.
Yeah.
So I would kill my gallon and be like, all right, let's do this. And my buddy, my older friend, would also have killed his gallon by then because we kind of made a deal like, all right, we drink a gallon a day, and that's when we start drinking. So by the time we got to work, there'd be like half a gallon gone and just chugging it. And then, you know, we'd
probably better for you. Keep the hangovers down.
Well, yeah, and I think, I mean, you can experience issues with drinking too much water, overhydration. I mean, I think a lady died by doing a water drinking contest on the radio.
Drink a lot of fucking water.
And I think
really quick in a short amount of time.
And I think there's something to be like almost a tolerance. Like if your body's not used to taking that much water, maybe it doesn't know how to process it. Like, but I just start peeing like every 15 minutes. My body's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I fucking pee all the time. I don't know if that's good or not. I have to get up like 5 times a night.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, do you drink a lot before bed? Because
I try to stay hydrated. I drink a lot, but still.
When you hear old people talk about like drinking water before bed, I always was like, okay. They're like, don't drink water after 6. And I kind of get it. Like pretty much every night I go to bed and I plan on getting up one more time to go take a piss because I drink beer, and if I'm not drinking beer, I'm drinking Zevia or ginger ale or something to fill the void because I'm aware I'm an alcoholic, and if I can fill that void, then I don't necessarily have to drink alcohol.
I don't think you're full-blown alcoholic.
I'm on the spectrum.
Yeah, I think we're getting close.
I'm definitely on the spectrum, but at least I'm willing to acknowledge it. I've had a lot
It's hard to say you're an alcoholic when you live in Durango because there's other examples where you're like, wow, I'm really not that bad.
Right. Every stage I've been on, I'm like, oh, this is essentially an AA meeting. Okay, let's talk about getting fucked up when you know you shouldn't. Like, I'm trying to make that into a bit, but I haven't quite figured out the delivery.
Yeah.
But
I think we have more discipline than most people in Durango.
yeah, and there's a spectrum of discipline, which is super interesting to me. Like, we all have these different qualities that make us great, but also qualities that bring us down in life, you know? And I think it's all a balance because it can't be all work and no play, because otherwise Jack murders his whole family.
Yeah.
That was that movie, right?
The Shining.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen that in a long time, but
I watched it today, actually.
Really?
Well, parts of it, because I was flipping through the channels.
Yeah.
Just looking for something to watch while I was eating lunch.
I've been thinking about it. I've been hearing about it. A lot of people are referencing it in podcasts and stuff, so I've really been thinking about it, but
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It holds up. I mean, it's not that scary, but I want to actually read the book.
Mm-hmm. I think, just like Fear and Loathing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once I read the book, I had this understanding of like the mental instability that was going on.
Well, and you have a visual of what's going on, and
Right.
Fear and Loathing, the movie, it follows the book so closely that it's like almost exactly the same, but there's so much more detail in the book.
Yeah, it just
that
leaves some
adds
details
so
out,
much
but-
more. Like, it paints a bigger picture,
Mhm.
and you're like, holy shit, because you can follow it in your mind because you've seen Fear and Loathing so many times.
Mhm.
But then all these other extra details, it's good. I love that book.
I think
That's one I could sit down and read
Right.
over and over.
that's what made me like reading again.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people would probably disagree with this, maybe just because they're more into reading than movies. But I think watching a movie beforehand, as long as I guess it matches up kind of similarly, and then reading it after, I got way more out of the book because I was laughing out loud by myself, you know, because the scene would play in my head. Johnny Depp.
Right. Yeah, I've been looking for Stephen King books lately.
Really?
Just some stuff that I've seen before to try to get that same feeling that I got out of Fear and Loathing.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm a little bit intimidated by Stephen King, and I know like comedians are supposed to be dark and stuff, but
Yeah.
it really fucks with my dreams. Like, I think about things far too much. Once something gets in my mind, I just like break it down, think about the darkness and the happiness and how somebody got from a baby to this person and shit like that. And I'm just like, fuck, there's a chance this person may have got sexually assaulted, and maybe that's why they're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And that's just too much for me, man.
I try not to overanalyze it like that. I get more scared about me becoming a fucking serial killer or something.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Because I had a really bad mushroom trip one time, and it was me and Coel at the lake, and I thought it was a good idea to turn the TV on, and there was like a scary movie commercial, and then I just like had this image of me killing Coel and like going on a murder rampage around the lake. Just like a quick flash of random psychedelic insanity, you know?
Well,
just
yeah.
It's just thoughts. Like, it doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't mean I'm a serial killer, but at that moment it freaked me out so much, because I think that's my biggest fear, is like Coel dying and under my like control.
Care.
Like, it was me that did it, that made her die, and like I think that was maybe what the trip was trying to tell me.
Is that related?
And it freaked me out.
Any way to like you maybe not being able to protect her? Like, is that included in
Probably.
the fear? Or
There
do you
might be
think it's completely like you would kill her?
I don't think it. No, I think the fear that I would lose my mind while I was tripping and become somebody that I was afraid of, you know?
Somebody violent.
And I
somebody
think that means that
impulsive.
I'm not crazy, because crazy people don't think about shit like that.
Well,
They just
sociopaths don't, but I think there's definitely a spectrum that could potentially. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying you have any
no. But
tendencies. I'm just saying.
I think the fact that I was so worried about it and so it fucked me up so much makes me think that it's not that it's not a possibility. I'm always, my whole life I've been.
think about the worst.
I think
case
about
scenario.
options. Like, you know, on the last Men in Black, I think it was 3. There was that guy that could like see all these
the
different
possibilities.
possibilities. Like, that's kind of how my mind works.
Right.
Like, I see multiple possibilities.
This fight just started, and we're gonna mildly watch it. It's Tisha Torres and Zhang,
I
Z-H-A-N.
have no idea who Zhang is. She looks Asian.
No, and in my opinion, Jeremy Stevens and Zabit should have got this slot, but
For sure.
I get it, diversity. And it's not just diversity, but when it comes to women's MMA, the roster is so small that this is a an important fight. Sorry, guys. We're kind of partying tonight. Quell's out of the house. It's fight night, and me and Phil are just... This is what we do, and we...
Broing it up.
We try to share it with you guys a little
Quell
bit.
sent me a text and said, have fun fondling each other.
We will. Yeah. I bet after our last pee break, we might come back shirtless. I don't know. Maybe pantsless. I feel like shirts are insignificant compared to pants. Like, nipple
Would
plate
you rather
doesn't-
have a topless girl party or a bottomless girl party?
Topless.
Topless for sure.
Vaginas are weird.
Yeah, it's not as fun to look. I mean, boobs. There's something about boobs.
Well, they're so much easier to see out of the corner of your eye. A vagina, you really gotta maybe make a level change. You know, it's far less accessible as far as like visuals. Whereas like tits, I mean, you can really get a look out of the corner of your eye and be happy with a set of tits. You know,
Definitely a booty man.
dude.
Love me a good booty.
More and more, because I was in a long-term relationship, right, with a chick that definitely had an ass on her, and I had no complaints. But since then, I've been with a couple girls that are just super skinny.
Lacking in the ass.
Right. And there's a balance somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it can be solved with genetics.
Squats.
Genetics to be a little heavier, and you have to work your ass off to stay fit, or genetics that you're skinny and you do squats. Exactly. Or I think if you're Latina and you're right in the middle and you do squats, Jesus Christ, you might be my kryptonite.
Yeah, Quell's got that Mexican ass.
Shout out to any listeners out there that have that build.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still looking for the one. I think I'm on the hunt now for the one. Mm-hmm. Dude,
I would play the field a bit, man.
I'm still... Well,
You got a chance.
I feel like you got to kind of
Keep swinging, buddy.
kind of feel that way.
I'm living vicariously through you.
Thanks, man. I feel like I got to kind of feel that way, not to feel like a piece of shit and just like bang chicks. Even though like the single mom market seems to be using me, which is a big part of like my stand-up act, but it's real, dude. And narcissistically, I was like, well, I don't know if I want to bang a single mom because I don't want a chick that, you know, is looking for a stepdad and she's trying to trap me or anything. And then I realized like I am not stepdad material.
Yeah.
And these chick like, I'm just a dick, bro. And I got this whole theory about when someone like a single mom meets somebody like me, especially like on Tinder, I think the new person, as long as they perform the first night, because it is the first night, they are aggressive. They pounce. But if you perform the first night, you get moved to the A team, and the last week's guy gets moved to the B team, and then so on and so forth, C, D team. And so you get the first call, but there's also like a 15-minute window where if you do not respond, B team's on his way, and you're shit out of luck.
His name's
Like,
Philly Cheese.
yeah, the cheese is on his way, and he's coming in hot. But I also think that there's a chance that the A team gets a little cocky and the B team gets a little comfortable. So the single mom probably hits up the D team when she wants her pussy eaten right. You know what I mean? Somebody that hasn't got the call in like a month is really willing to put in the work. I'm trying to work this into a bit, but
I can see it.
yeah, because I was on the A team for a minute and I think I just got bumped, which is interesting. And I like it. I don't want to be on the A team. I can't be the first call when you're horny.
Yeah.
I'm busy. Sometimes it works out. And if it's new and exciting, yeah, I'll be there for like 3 days in a row. But after that, like if I'm there 3 days in a row, I got a sink full of dishes. I got dirty laundry. I got a dog that needs attention.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of work.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Tisha Torres has a
Zang on her back.
Zang on her back with a body triangle, and it looks compromising at the very least. It's a real Damian Maya situation.
She seems pretty calm, though.
I'm so curious at how many people that listen to the podcast like UFC. If you like UFC and you listen to the podcast, you should just give us a little something like, oh, that fight was dope, or just like let us know that you're into this, because
We'll do more of these.
I've had some feedback where people are like, yeah, it was great until the UFC talk. And I understand the last podcast we were a little low energy, and the UFC part was low energy. It wasn't like half-assed or intentional, but it was low energy.
Yeah.
You know? I got to take a breath. Sorry. I talked for like 10 minutes.
I always think it's going worse, and then I re-listen to him, and I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
When
Recently,
when you're not here.
yeah, and recently I've had way less moments where I'm like, because there's a lot of times I'm in the truck, like driving in the middle of the woods, and I'm re-listening to it and just like cringe. Just like, fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know how the single mom thing was going to go with your single mom
I got a
after the
blowjob
podcast.
the next day.
Nice.
Or the day it was released. I got a text, said, hey, we need to talk. And then she was like, hey, if you have any questions, just fucking ask me in person. And then she told me there's been a couple guys since she met me. This was 5 days after we met. We were together 4 days, 4 in a row. There was 2 other people since, you know, in that 1 day span.
Yeah.
And or maybe 2 days, maybe that she doubled down, you know what I mean? She was like, yeah, I was tested here, then, and just like, if you have these questions, you don't have to be passive aggressive and talk about it on your podcast. I was like, I really didn't know you were going to listen to my podcast. You shouldn't, but they're
all the girls you've been banging recently listen to the podcast
because they're thinking about trusting me and they want to know who I really am. But I get
you
it.
want to learn, listen to the podcast.
Right. I'm starting to figure all this out. It's been a real pussy repellent recently.
Yeah, it seems. I thought maybe it was a way to keep girls from wanting to get into a relationship.
No, it's done that. Yeah.
It's like, I'm just gonna throw it all out there and maybe. But maybe that's how you fish out the ones that you don't really want to be with. Because if they can't take... I say some things about Coel that I probably shouldn't say.
You're pretty tame, though. Yeah. And it really
she might
comes
be
off
embarrassed about the shoulder hand job thing, but that was hilarious.
It really comes off as a joke, though.
Totally.
You know? Whereas I feel like a lot of people think I'm just speaking from the heart because I am. But so far it's been an extremely effective tool for relationship...
self-destruction.
Yeah. But what's the word? Compatibility test. It's a compatibility test. But when you don't really know me and you hear me say some shit, it sounds really bad. Because you don't know how I really feel about it, and you just take me for what I say on the podcast, which I get. But the super hot girl that blew me off yesterday listened to the podcast, and she was like, this is fucking hilarious. So I was like, oh my God, I might have a wife. And then, yeah, she kind of blew me off. But I might get another shot at it.
Yeah. It's like Joe Rogan's wife. Like, he's definitely she's definitely been a little embarrassed about things he said. But he doesn't talk about his family very much. He's so
good with his family. I bet when he started, he fucked up more. Yeah. But... yeah, he's now when he does it, it's mostly like, Jessica, if you're listening, I'm sorry. And that, like, it's so minimal. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, I don't know if I have a future with this girl. I was thinking about fucking this other girl. The girl I'm talking about is like, hey, that's really not cool. But I haven't met anybody that had like long-term potential yet. So if it's turned girls off, it's done its job. But James made a good point. He's like, that's kind of passive aggressive and probably not cool. So I'm working on myself.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't think you should lose the Brian flair.
Have I been losing spark?
No.
Losing flair? I'm trying to maintain
I think you overthink some things sometimes.
100%. Yeah.
And worry about what people are thinking of how you're coming off too much sometimes.
Totally. And
I think a lot of our listeners like the fact that we don't give a fuck and we're willing to say what we want.
Right. And I got to find the right chick.
But it's not good to hurt people that you know and ruin relationships to try to be famous.
Well, and it's not even literally, it's just trying to make you laugh, man. It just happens to be on this platform that we're working on, you know? But it's it's a delicate balance. And I'm working on it. But the stage is actually giving me a better outlet because I can scan the crowd. Oh, nobody I know? Let it fly. And just really let it fly. And it is beautiful, dude. And
I'm going to Houston for 2 weeks, and I'm really trying to find some open mics.
I would suggest going up here on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna start here, but still, like, I don't go into a spot. I don't know fucking anybody. Get up on stage and try some of my material out, and then...
I think your first time Like, I think I would still be more comfortable going up at, like, Laugh Therapy in front of all the comedians I know than, like, going up in an open mic in Houston.
Right.
Where I'm not necessarily sure. Because Durango has a very specific social, like, commentary and, like, social feeling about most things. So you can play to that.
But most of my jokes aren't current or political. It's all making fun of myself and my family.
Personal.
So I think it'll hit anywhere, really. Like, and that's probably a good way to filter out some material.
Right.
So I don't know.
We'll
see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Me and my mom are trying to find things to do while I'm down there. So
If you want to do an open mic in front of your mom,
yeah,
it's bold.
My mom knows a lot about me.
Yeah. Most of my
super supportive
comedic material is about fucking. So
a lot of mine is.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're fucking a committed girl. I'm fucking randos. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
my mom is aware. She listened to the last podcast.
About my masturbating preferences.
That's okay.
No. I actually only have one masturbating joke.
Really?
Yeah. It's just the masturbating with a banana.
I don't know if I have any. I don't think I've told one
Most
jerk
of mine's
joke.
just, I'm throwing my dad under the bus with the having me shave his back. But it's
that's
hilarious.
what you get when you have your kids shave your back. It might be at a book or a stand-up bit one day. That's what happens. And that's the thing. I feel like the only reason your parents would have you shave their back is they have no faith in you being famous one day. I'm about to prove my dad wrong, or I'm hoping to. There's a lot of shit you did. Like, my dad's go-to phrase for, like, stop fucking around was stop jacking off. And when we were in public, me and my brother were like, whoa, like, just put our hands up. Like, I'm not jacking off.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, before I started jacking off, I knew those words were the wrong thing to say in public to your children. It's like, hey, stop jacking off. I'm like, maybe it's because that's what my dad said to him, because it was just two boys and they were probably jacking off whenever there was too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember your dad always made us pull our hands out of our pockets. Like when we were just sitting there talking. He's just pull your hands out of your pockets. You look gay. Like, I remember him always saying that to me.
I don't remember my dad saying it, but I remember my dad saying it when we were like working, and he was like,
when we were standing around and like we had our hands in our pockets, I just remember him always making us take our hands out.
Yeah. Just like, if your hands are in your pocket. Yeah. And that particularly did help me when I started doing like labor jobs. So I was just like, even if I'm not doing shit, you cannot have your hands in your pocket. That looks like you're not doing shit.
Definitely.
But if your hands are out of your pockets, you could be like, whoa, you know? I don't know.
When we worked at Europa, Bob would always, I'm fucking sitting there laying pavers. Like, you have to be in one area for a long time. So I sat on my ass, and I could do the exact same thing on my ass, fucking crisscross applesauce. But every time Bob would show up, he'd be like, get on your knees. It looks like you're fucking off if you're just sitting on your ass.
Is he a Russian human trafficker?
Just like,
get on your knees? How dare
just
you?
like, dude, I'm doing the exact same work, but the fact that I'm sitting on my ass, it makes it look worse for you. And so after Bob would leave, I would fucking go back and sit on my ass.
No, I did the exact same thing because of you.
Yeah,
because I'd be on my knees.
You're just sanding pavers and like getting them perfect. And fucking Bob wouldn't pay for knee guards. So you're fucking sitting on your knees, hurting your knees with pavers.
So bad.
Or you can sit on your ass and do the exact same fucking work.
And if you want to be honest about it, ass is more spread out surface area, so less likely to fuck up the pavers just because all your weight's on your knees and your toes, which happened.
Yep.
And you had to back
Every
up
fucking time.
Yeah.
And you'd look back and there was a fucking dent where your knee was sitting.
And just
And
break
it wasn't
Sid's
level.
heart.
Yep.
Break his heart.
I saw Victoria the other day.
Really?
Yeah, Vicky G.
Do you know anything about her? Is she still Sid? No?
He's hit and miss. I guess it's something we shouldn't talk about on the podcast.
Copy.
But yeah, I think he's been up and down with all the stuff he was into.
I feel like,
dude, Olive is so big.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She's
probably like 10 or
10.
so. Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because we were like 19.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you have friends with drug problem. It's hard to know what to do, and he's been a good friend for a long time, so it's really hard to know what to do because to your face it's like, yeah, dude, I'm on top of this. And then when he gets alone, it's just hard to say what goes through his head, and I can really relate. Like I can.
And at that time, it was hard for us to say shit.
Well,
telling the kettle black, all that.
But he was also always far deeper than us in anything. But we also didn't have the life experience to be like, dude, there's long-term repercussions to this. We were just like, oh, Sid being Sid, you know what I mean? Which is unfortunate, but yeah, I feel like we should probably reach out. Oh, that's a bummer. That's sad.
I don't know how bad it is. It's been a bit since I think she was working at Still Smoking.
Really?
When I saw her, yeah.
That's appropriate. Not in a negative way.
No.
Somewhere I'd work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know this is another sad thing to say, but last night I was hanging out with that chick so I got blown off by a super hot chick, and an old friend hit me up, and she was like, hey, I got a 6-pack. I'm on your side of town. I was like, shit, I got dabs. Come on by. Let's get fucked up. I'm like, hi, you know? And we had a really good conversation, and we were watching Mac Miller. We were just going through hip-hop and stuff, and Mac Miller's NPR came on, and she was stoked, so I just left it on. I like it a lot. And then the last song, it just like hit me. I was like, you ever hear a song and you feel like this person might kill themselves? Like it was a sign.
Yeah.
Just like, I
listened to
I am tortured. Like so rough.
The Brody Stevens Church of What Happening Now.
Really?
The last one he was on, and I got that same vibe for sure. Yeah, just like, man.
And hindsight's 20/20, especially with comedians. Like it's hard to decipher what's dark humor and what's like, but that's how they get their feelings out, is through dark humor. Like the most I've learned about any of the local comedians is through their act.
Yeah. And that's what makes it funny, is it's real.
Right.
There's a little bit of, like, you know, some of my jokes are slightly made up. You know, I never actually stole pills and went over a snowy mountain pass with the expectations of getting high.
Allegedly.
Looking at the majestic scenery when I realized that I had taken deworming medication.
Oh, dude, that's where that joke goes? That's awesome.
It transitions into the Colorado bidet.
Ah, dude.
Yeah.
Well
that one's my closer.
Nice.
That's the only one that I've really practiced enough to be comfortable with it.
Nice.
I really wish I would have made it to Laugh Therapy that night. I was stoked and ready for it.
Dude,
and then this week I was just scared. I don't know. I just got super scared. And I needed to make money, but...
Right. I'm telling you, being the last guy on that after everybody didn't do... It was...
Yeah.
Dude, I sat
You're
there
just sitting there nerve-wracked the whole time.
2.5 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Like, I got there at 7:15. I went on at 10. I was just like so nervous. Single mom was that. She helped me a lot, probably. Just like, you're going to do great. And distracted me, you know? Whereas before I was just sitting there like staring at the picture of my act that I took from my notebook and just like going over it over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
But I still don't, I'm not going to be able to repeat it verbatim. It's got to evolve for me to feel good about it. Just genuine about it. I don't know. If there's one person that sees the exact same act, I'm going to feel like a dick. But these two places are fucking...
That's what's cool about
50 yards away from each other.
What I've noticed about writing jokes lately is there's so many ways you can take different things. And that's the whole thing, is you got to get up on stage and practice it in front of people, because you don't know what direction you take it in is going to get a laugh.
Dude, and
you think it's funny, and
yeah, trust me, like your thought process changes. Like you start feeling the vibe of the crowd, and then you like,
and that's what
start turning.
I'm hoping, because that's when I am at my funniest, when I have that crowd. But it scares me when I'm sitting at home and I try to record myself and like, I wonder what I sound like, and then I'm just like, oh, this is fucking garbage.
Yeah. Well, you know, at least your first couple, 2-3 times, the comics, if you say something funny, will laugh, even if it's not timed well or worded properly. If it's funny, they will be like, haha, yeah, that was awesome. But the crowd might not, which is where it starts to really get you fucked up. And a quiet, like, you just gotta keep going. And also open mics, you can just be like, all right, guys, that's all I got for it, you know. But
Right.
you want to get as much out as you can because this is your fucking chance to try all this.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you feel like I do, like, you know, you have to try. Like,
Well, it's awesome for
it's like,
Dave and the ranch to make that platform possible every
Yeah.
single week to do that.
totally. And this dude, Justin, I'll introduce you. He's super cool. He was really standoffish when I signed up, and then after my first set, he was like, all right, dude, what's up? And he was cool after that, but
Yeah.
when I signed up, he was like, oh, okay. And then Dave talked me up a little bit. He was like, this guy has a comedy podcast. He's really going to fucking go for it. And the guy was like, sick. And after he left therapy, I went to sign up, and he was like, hey, man, we're done signing up. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he was like, but here's some free drink tickets. I was like, oh, and I hugged him. And he accepted the hug. So I feel like we're cool, you know?
That's sweet.
We're probably going to have him on sometime. Him and his business partner are the reason there's a comedy scene in Durango. So I'm really curious about what drove that, because I talked to him a little bit about it, but he didn't really have ambitions of comedy, but for some reason he loves it and wants to promote it, but doesn't think he's, you know.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Doesn't think he's necessarily comedian material, but he's giving all these people a platform.
Right.
He's the reason, like, we have a place to go, which is cool. You know, there's a really good show tonight, and I'm kind of bummed I'm not at it. But
Yeah. It might be sold out.
maybe. But if I hope it's sold out. But we're getting a podcast out of this. We're watching fights. Phil's leaving in a couple weeks, so we got to bank some. I think I've said that.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to my brother today.
Zhang Wan,
Oh,
the Chinese girl.
it was decision.
Mm-hmm.
Torres
She's got
lost.
some jujitsu.
Zanjits. Where's she from?
China,
Is that a Chinese flag?
pretty sure.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So empty. So red.
Stars.
I really like red, though. Red and purple. Damn, I thought this hot girl was the one, dude. I was so sure.
Which one? The
one that blew me off.
Which one?
The one that blew me off.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Rogan.
I love Joe Rogan.
It's
And the
crazy that
translator.
he's 50 years old. He doesn't seem 50.
I know, but when he was our age, he was on news radio, and then every time I like get a little bit ambitious, I hear one of those stories, and I'm like, well, he was already fucking there.
Yeah.
But then you hear a story from Burt Kreischer or Callan, and they're like, yeah, I started stand up at 26, 27, 28, and they're amazing.
Yeah, I think nowadays, 30 is the new 20. I'm hoping, with modern medicine and my low level of income.
Very menial. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's the only thing that I seem to give a shit about, so I'm gonna go for it. And it makes me feel so good. And when I'm hanging out with the comics, I know
There's comedians who have made it in their 30s and 40s, like
Yeah.
Dean Del Rey and Robert Schimmel, and
well,
like they all started really late. And we have more content because we've lived more
right,
than Elliot and Jacob Jonas. Like,
right. No, totally. And I realized I'm the only one talking about fucking on stage, and I'm like open about it. But the crowd seemed to like it, you know? So even if it's seen as crude or like, it's super original, it's all life experiences, shit that really happened to me.
Yeah.
I really had a single mom tell me how to eat her pussy. And it was one of the most...
Was it life changing?
For my future pussy partners? Yeah, probably. Like, it was similar to the rough hand job
Did she
comment.
like stop you?
Kind
Be
of.
like, no,
Kind
you're
of.
doing it all wrong.
No, she was very assertive.
That's good.
Right. And I was extremely impressed and kind of turned on.
Girls, that's what you should do for every guy.
Right.
Show them what to do.
And
Because we're not fucking mind readers.
no, and if I can put that into a bit, that's the point.
Yeah.
Because I've been with girls that like aggressive pussy eating. Like, they will grab the back of your head and grind your fucking face.
Yeah.
And this girl was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And even when I got like even medium pressure, she was like, please calm down. I was like, okay. Because I'm there to get her off, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I want to do the best job possible. Getting somebody off turns me on. It's why I'm there. Obviously, I'm trying to bust a nut, but I'm in here for the twofer,
Right.
the whole package, you know? Because I feel like a dick when Oh, that Dan Bilzerian and Cowboy are hanging out.
Nice. Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram actually.
Nice. But the first, maybe it was the second time I banged this one chick, and I was like, she was like, "Did you come?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking exhausted." And she was like, I was like, "Did you?" And she's, "No." Just like, no.
Yeah.
Just like, well, what do we got to do? She was like, "Yeah, it's more of a clitoral thing for me." It's like, well, grab my snorkel out of the drawer. Let's fucking do this thing. And that was when I got the whole life lesson. Yeah. I don't feel terrible about it. Next is Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler. That's fucking exciting.
What do you think?
Well, after the night of fucking vets, but Ben Askren's no young blood.
No. He's been around for a while, just not in the UFC.
I want Robbie Lawler KO second round. I think Ben Askren decision.
Dry hump. Decision by dry hump.
That's kind of what I see, man.
I honestly haven't seen Ben Askren fight that much. I haven't seen much of his fights.
He doesn't get hit. He's very proficient. His timing is ridiculous. I have seen one clips of Ben Askren, but it's just like, it's dominating. It's dominant. Pretty sure he was an Olympic wrestler. Who is that? JDS?
Mm-hmm.
Who's JDS fighting next?
Derek Lewis.
Oh, shit. I don't know who I like in that fight.
Probably
I
JDS.
think Junior just
Unless
fucked up a young blood.
Derek Lewis just hits him
Well,
in the last 30 seconds like he always does.
Who's the dude with the stingray tattoo? You know what I'm talking about? Volkov. Was it him?
Mm-hmm.
Volkov? Dude, last 20 seconds, motherfucker tries to leg kick Derek Lewis and just gets blasted in the face. And Derek Lewis was
Done.
stumbling
He was
for
so
5
tired.
rounds. Yeah, just getting out fucking techniqued, but just wouldn't die.
My balls was hot.
Oh, look at Brian Ortega. That's sexy bitch.
Still your girl.
God damn, I'm kind of into him, to be honest. I thought about buying one of his shirts, but his company's Black Belt Surfing, and I feel like a real douchebag. I'm not a black belt, and I can't surf, so.
That's
Why don't you call it something more generally accepting?
definition
Like,
of poser.
This hat, Durango Martial Arts hat, I did not buy till I had a blue belt because I felt like an asshole wearing anything martial arts until I earned something. Like anything that was like, you are a martial artist.
It's
And I
humble
was
of
like,
you.
hell yeah. I had a sticker on my truck,
Yeah.
but that was just so cops liked me. Once I found out how many cops do jiu-jitsu, I was like, put that bitch on my back window. I could drive a couple pounds in this truck.
Hey, Gary. Allegedly.
I haven't done that since
Brian doesn't have weed.
19. Haven't driven pounds.
He has an ounce of weed in his house.
Precisely an ounce.
1 ounce.
I
of
had a
smokable
little
marijuana.
more, but it showed up right when a friend did, and I gave it right to him.
It's
I
gone.
was like, here, 28 grams max. That's all I could have. And they were like, I understand. Totally.
Yes. We're all law-abiding citizens here. I have to pee again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But just real quick, if you're into me, there's a benefit to banging me if you smoke weed. Like, I will definitely give you some weed. But
Brian's weed rich.
yeah, I have 28 grams.
28 grams.
28 grams of smokable marijuana.
That'll last you 28 days.
I doubt it, but we'll see.
I try to not smoke more than a gram a
Remember when we used to smoke an eighth a week?
day. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
I know.
You remember?
I do.
Is that George Lopez? You remember?
Remember how cheap Mike was
Dude.
when it came to smoking weed? It's like, come on, Mike, pack a bowl.
Yeah, that was the worst. Just like, you want to smoke, Mike? Oh, totally. Not bring his weed out at all. It's like, hey, motherfucker.
We would have to get him drunk as fuck to get him to
and
pack
he
a bowl.
would pack fat bowls. We'd get the biggest bowl. Mike would roll blunt if he was drunk, but if he was sober, he wouldn't pack a pinner.
That's why I got that pipe there, the Chronic.
So Mike would pitch?
No, because when I started hanging out with all those guys, that was my Chronic pipe.
Yeah.
And
Oh, because
when
you were still
I-
smoking swag.
yeah,
All right.
and then when I would have Chronic, I would break that bowl out because it's got a tiny bowl
Mhm.
instead of a big one. Like, yeah, I'll smoke some Chronic with you.
People are willing to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. Real talk. Yeah, you bust out a bong bowl. People are like, whoa. I'm like, just put a couple hits in it. Don't get crazy. You don't got to use the whole goddamn thing. This was the only one that was the right size.
Mike's brother was always the best about. He would buy weed and just be like,
He would roll a
smoke
blunt.
all of it.
Just, who wants to smoke bogs?
It's like, I love selling weed to him. Allegedly.
the good old days. 18, 19-year-old Brian and Phil were just fucking wild cards. I think my whole life since I moved out of my dad's house has been a rebellion, including the beginning of this podcast. I'm finally starting to accept everybody in my life, but until recently, I've really been rebelling, whereas now I'm trying to be me instead of just like, fuck you, you know? Because I was so controlled. My mom was so strict. My dad gave me no freedom. Like, Cynthia didn't give me, like, my sister could be out till 2 in the morning.
Right.
With dudes she was fucking. And me, just like...
This guy.
Yeah, with you. And me, it was like, you got to be home by 10. I know your truck barely runs. Good luck. Just like, no cell phone service, truck broke down. And I got in trouble when I got home. Just like, you know?
That's weird.
Where Ashley just walked in the middle of the night and just like, everything's cool. She's out the next night.
Yeah.
I had to move a goddamn house to go hang out with my friends. You were there.
Was it just because you were a guy?
I don't know. I think they're worried about me knocking somebody up, but wouldn't you be more concerned about your daughter getting knocked up?
It's weird.
I can always bail. She can't. That's fucked up.
We're going to leave you on that.
Piss break.
Bruce Buffer is a beautiful man.
Bruce Buffer is one of the classiest motherfuckers I've ever witnessed in my
Sweet
life.
red and black suit.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know if I've
super
seen
dope.
those colors on a old Bruce.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Bruce Buffer's worn so many goddamn suits. I think he's a bachelor.
Bruce Buffer?
Yeah, I heard him on a
Buffler.
podcast recently. I think he was on maybe The Church.
Haven't listened to a lot of those lately.
Bruce Buffer, I think, was on The Church of What's Happening Now with Joe Diaz, and it was super,
Yeah.
learned a lot. And him and his brother Mike Buffer, if you're Bruce Buffer is the announcer for the UFC. Mike Buffer is the announcer for WWE.
He's isn't he Let's Get Ready to
and
Rumble?
boxing. Yeah, let's get ready to rumble. Maybe it's just boxing. I think it's WWE too.
I think he's
Sure.
done some.
Yeah. Well, if you are a UFC fan, you've already seen this, but Robbie Lawler is about to fight Ben Askren, and me and Phil are just getting drunker and drunker as it goes.
Yeah, kind of. I should be drunk.
I'm being very responsible with my alcohol intake. I've been here since 4, and it is 9:19, and this is my 4th beer.
That's not bad.
Not terrible. I might have had one at home slice. while I
Drank
was
like
waiting.
half a bottle of tequila.
There you go.
Oh. Shot
Askren.
right away.
See, what worries me is once he's holding them, it's like Damian
Come
Maya.
on. Oh, look at
God damn.
that.
That was a fireman's carry and a half.
Get him, Lawler.
Robbie Lawler. is
Get him.
Fucking ruthless.
Get him.
We might have a TKO situation. I don't know. He's going to let Askren go.
Maybe,
He's an
though.
Olympic wrestler. Come on, Ben Askren. I don't know why I'm rooting for him. I really don't give a shit, but I think something in me is sympathetic to wrestlers.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Robbie Lawler.
Just because every time I do any kind of kickboxing sparring, I'm fucking terrified.
Yeah.
But if you want to grapple, like I'm a little confident, you know? Except with the black belts, I really go in like a bitch.
Well, he survived that barrage.
It's the thing.
He was
about-
getting hit hard.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If anybody doesn't know Ben Askren, this is the first time he's actually been seriously hit in like years. And we're all about to see how he handles
Oof.
adversity.
This is the thing. That's what I always thought about Robbie Lawler in this fight. Just, he's a fucking veteran. Like, he's been in all these types of fights before.
Wasn't
He's fought wrestlers before.
Wasn't he a Strikeforce champion? Robbie Lawler? I might be wrong.
I don't know.
Like, he was fighting back with Nate Diaz.
He's been
Or maybe
fighting
WEC.
for a long time. Yeah, WEC.
Yeah. Wonder how boring this is for people that don't like fights. We've talked a lot about not fights.
This is
but
really the only fight we've watched.
the real fights are, they're now on. So we're currently slightly interested. Sorry, guys.
Super interested.
Yeah, Ben Askren's got him on the cage, but Robbie Lawler is really defending well and still being the aggressor as far as striking goes.
He's not using
Knees
a
to
lot
the
of
body.
energy.
No, he's leaning on the fence, kind of trying to maintain a little space so Askren can't just take him down. And
Yeah, he hit Ben a lot in the first 30 seconds
Yeah.
of the fight.
It's pretty classic Robbie Lawler, though. He comes out hot. I feel like it's partially a test, partially a war of attrition, trying to break somebody down.
Robbie's got a chin on him, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty hard to knock him out.
Did Tyrone Woodley? Is it Tyrone? God damn it. Tyron Woodley, did he knock him out? No, he knocked out Darren Tilley. I think he won a decision. I don't remember. But he got the belt from Robbie, right?
Was it?
Pretty sure.
Or was it Johnny Hendricks?
No.
Is that who
John-
Robbie Lawler beat? Was Johnny Hendricks? It's been a while since I've
seen Johnny Hendricks.
welterweight history.
Yeah, I'm not exact. No, Robbie got it from Rory.
Oh, shit.
Van Askren, rear naked attempt. He's about to
Nah.
have an issue.
Oh, fuck. That's tight.
Schoolyard
He's
choke,
out.
bruh.
He's out. He's out. Oh, he wasn't out. He looked out.
He did look out. Robbie Lawler hugged Herm Dean. Very classy, but obviously
I thought he was
disappointed.
out because he raised his arm and it just fell.
Maybe that was just his attempt, you know? He's just like, I got to focus on this. I'm good. Bad stoppage.
Damn,
but
that's so unfortunate.
that's the problem with the current rules is there's really nothing to do about that other than have a rematch.
Yeah.
Ben
I don't know why
Askren's-
it's not hard. Why can't you just, the commission be like, all right, let's just keep the fight going. Where did we stop?
Yeah. Well, the
Fucking
fucked up
2
thing
minutes,
is,
15
Yeah.
seconds.
if the ref looks at the replay at all, the fight has to be over. Somebody's either disqualified.
I just saw his
Yeah.
arm hit
he
that.
looks like he's out.
Yeah, he
No,
looked out.
He's not posting off his arm or anything. Right there, he kind of moved, but he looked out.
Oh, man. As soon as he lets go,
yeah.
though, he's...
Robbie Lawler, he was just holding out. His chin's in there. Damn. That sucks.
Oh, man. And Herb Dean's the best ref in the
I know.
world. And right away, Herb's like, fuck, man, I thought your arm... Oh, shit. I'm sorry, I fucked up, man.
But Robbie was super
He's
gracious.
cool. That's why I love Robbie Lawler. He's
Yeah.
so cool about it.
He's a
Even
true
when people
vet,
are
yeah.
talking shit to him, he's just like, well, whatever. I'm going in there to fight. Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we really didn't get to see what Ben Askren could do with top notch, you know?
Oh.
He was just in a good position at the moment. And a bad stoppage.
That's a weird choke, that bulldog choke.
Doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
I feel like
Certain position.
that's really like that old schoolyard bulldog choke, you know?
Like a noogie.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, the old nuggy choke. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a ref. You get the best seat in the house for fights, but oh man.
You don't get to pay attention. Yeah. I mean, even Joe Rogan's like, I couldn't commentate and judge.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just like that last fight. Just like, honestly, I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
You know? I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah, that one's, man, that's happened a lot lately with banger cards, banger fights. It's
Yeah.
just like it happens to
Just
end
a
in
quick stoppage.
stalemate.
But there's, I mean, at least it's safety oriented, you know? At least it's for the right reason. Like an early stoppage is way better than somebody going to the hospital for just severe brain damage because the ref was like, I don't know. He's still, one of his eyes is open.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing with chokes. If you stop
Yeah, but
blood to the brain.
his head was against the fence. His arm dropped
it
dramatically.
It looked
Yeah,
like he was out.
He wasn't really posting. Apparently, Herb Dean lifted his hand, asked him if he was okay. I
He
didn't really
kind of did. It dropped again, like
that.
right there.
He was
was like,
saying he
"I'm
was
good,"
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a thumbs up there, kind of. Damn, that sucks.
So unfortunate.
Sucks for Herb Dean, too, because he's about to get hate for...
And he's the best ref. You never see people give him hate.
Now that Big John's gone, he's pretty much unanimously...
Yeah. And, yeah, when they're in Vegas, they always use the good refs for these big cards. But whatever.
Yeah,
Been asking.
It is what it is. It sucks for Robbie Lawler. It affects his livelihood, affects his future, and affects Ben Askren's in the exact opposite. It boosts him up because in the history books, he choked out Robbie Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happened, no matter what, unless there's an asterisk by it, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. That's probably more controversial than the TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo.
A lot of people could say TJ was
rocked.
in trouble.
He was fucked up.
Whereas Robbie Lawler was very coherent when he stood up. He looked Herb Dean right in the eye.
You can see it in Herb Dean's face. He's like, fuck. Yeah. He was fine.
Immediately started apologizing.
But that's just the fight game. It's part of it. It's such a weird sport.
It's a fucking sport for savages. I kind of envy the balls to make the decision to be a professional fighter for a living. Unless you're fucking Johnny Walker.
Because there's no guarantee. It's like you go to school for 5 years to be a mechanical engineer. Like, you have a pretty good chance of getting a job and being a mechanical engineer, but
less and less these days.
Still, compared to being a professional fighter in the UFC, after you put 6 or 7 years into it, like, there's a big chance that you're gonna go nowhere and you're gonna end up having to work at Home Depot.
Yeah, in a 4-year span, there's like 15 dudes, 15 people that are really fucking killing it, and everybody else is just.
And at this time and age, at this level, you pretty much had to have been fighting since you were 10, like training for that.
Yeah.
Like the new kids that are coming up, like Sugar Sean O'Malley, like they've been fighting since they were 15, at least training.
Like Stylebender.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been watching Anderson Silva since I was a kid.
At this point, you have to have been training for 15 years to be like Francis Ngannou, but he's just a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Like, just the power.
He was training. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Working in a fucking sand
mine? Yeah, that's what it was. Lifting bags of sand. Have you finished this game, Red Dead Redemption?
Not quite. I'm
still
almost there.
It's hard to.
You get to the farming section, you're like, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a lot of sections.
There's missions where they're like, take the wagon to town and come back, like, without killing anybody. Bitch, I don't have 20 minutes to drive.
I just want to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let me shoot somebody. I have 30 minutes to play video games. You want me to drive to town and back in the wagon and just, like, with my boy? It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
But I get it. It's a really good game.
It's beautiful.
I just
don't
have
put a lot of time
to really
details.
Yeah.
Like when you're walking through grass and like the grass moves and like how your clothes move as you move. Like the details are amazing.
When your horse reacting to bears and shit. Yeah. Like there's a lot that's really, really cool. Something about me loves like the UFC games. It's just like, all right, I'm going to play knockout mode 2 times. I'm going to fuck this dude up and get on with my day, But you turn on Red Dead Redemption, you're like, well,
you're in it for the long haul.
I got to wait till this saves. I'm not going to do this shit again.
Drive one of those games, you'll get lost and then 4 hours later you're like, fuck, it's 1:30. I need to go to bed.
Right. But I just get, I'm so fucking restless. I think my next thing to hold off of is going to be social media. I am extremely fucking addicted. Like I am just because I'm bored. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not super satisfied with what's in front of me, so I'm staring at my phone like, is anybody liking me? Is any girls like into me? Is anything going on, And it's just unhealthy and it's wasting too much of my time. I've started to notice my dog reacting to when I look at my phone, and she goes and lays down. She's like, "Oh, okay," and just like, "Fuck you then." Like if I'm like, "Let's go outside," and she gets off the couch, if I look at my phone, she's like, "Oh," and just jumps back on the couch and like curls up like, "Oh, you're not interested."
I definitely have a bad habit of looking at social media while I'm watching like a movie or TV and like I get bored of the movie that I'm watching.
Right.
I'm like, we're so stimulated now.
Well, and I'm seeing the same shit. I'm not giving it enough space in between views, so I'm seeing the exact same shit, and I'm like, ugh. But what do you expect to happen? You know? That's an issue.
It's weird how the Instagram algorithms work. Like, it notices what you like a lot,
Yeah.
and it throws that stuff up. So I'm trying to figure out the algorithm for us.
Right.
We've been gaining followers.
Yeah. I think short videos would help a lot. Just like a little taste. 'Cause so many people have podcasts. If you can make somebody giggle when they're going through their feed, that'll do it, you know, get their interest. But if just seeing a picture of us in front of mics, I feel like there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah, the videos definitely. And it gives it context of what the episode's about.
Mm-hmm. Little information. It's a teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Movie's been doing it for years. Did you listen to The Fighter and the Kid with Andrew Schultz?
Part of it.
Yeah. That gave me a lot of insight.
A lot of good social
It's
media
like
stuff.
in a year, I was selling out everywhere, and my shit was on fire. Just like, oh. And then I just remember everybody that's been like, yeah, it's kind of fucking long, though. I'm like, I know, but you don't have to listen to the whole thing. You know? But I get that. I don't know. This is the platform we've chosen. And this is how I want to do
and
it.
30 minutes is...
Well, we can advertise it a little more effectively, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How long have we been going? Silence. Banter.
Hour and 10 minutes.
Damn.
Not
I
bad.
thought it was longer.
There's only a couple fights left.
That's fair.
I enjoyed talking to you, bud.
Well, yeah. Obviously. I mean,
Well, yeah.
I really appreciate that you do this with me. All week I'm just like, I wonder what I'm going to talk about. And all this therapy and shit about my life. And then I'm like, fuck, Phil didn't say he'd do this with me. I don't know if I'd be doing this. You know? I need a wingman.
It's good for me.
But I'm kind of the opposite when I'm trying to get laid, where people like wingman. I feel like wingmen get in the way when I'm trying to get laid. Like, I feel like I need to show them attention. Therefore, I'm not giving said lady attention. Whereas when I've been going out doing comedy and stuff, like, I meet somebody and there's no ties to anything else. You know what I mean? Like, I can be all the way in and just have a real conversation with somebody. Whereas if Evan's there or something and he's in the bathroom and he comes up and he's just standing next to me like, so, we came together.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And not that he's a bad wingman, just any friend.
Yeah.
Because I feel rude having
Then you
somebody.
almost have to host, like, the gathering.
Right.
Like, you feel like you got to entertain everybody.
Mm-hmm. No, that's how I feel all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, ta-da! Fucking juggling and shit. I want eyes on me for some fucked up reason, but I'm okay with it.
Probably is the sibling thing.
Yeah. Well, and just working parents, just alone a lot, you know, or with siblings that, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this podcast is definitely started as a bit of a rebellion. And, like, my intentions with James's were, like, a bit of a rebellion. It's like, in case my dad hears this, he'll fucking know how I really feel. And now I'm like, well, just because you were going through some shit doesn't mean you got to fuck up, like, your relation. And obviously that's not my intention, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Felt so controlled as a young person. My mom was strict. Like,
I felt a little bit of that when I was growing up. They were strict and they just wanted a lot from me. Or for me.
yeah.
You know, like, I was the first Schneider male to walk into a college. My dad was the first Schneider to graduate high school. Like, Schneider males set the bar pretty low. As long as my son just goes to college and doesn't drop out to sell weed out of his house, he'll be good.
Yeah. My dad graduated. Uncles graduated. They really had high hopes for me. Like, I remember the look in my dad's eye when he bailed me out of jail and he was like, my son's not going to be a doctor. You know? Just like, that was the first time he was just like, fuck. And I saw it. I saw the hope die.
Was that because he pushed you so much? Or shit just happens?
I think it
was my fault. I was like, let's move in together.
A lot of... No. I think...
derailed your dreams.
I always just assumed I was special and would have money and would just figure everything out, you know what I mean?
I had that feeling, too.
When I looked at the cars on my wall, I was positive I would have my choice.
Totally.
You know? And not this was a very long time ago, but I kind of looked at my parents like kind of like failures almost in a way, just because you get introduced to this media that shows you this whole other lives and stuff. So you just assume like if you're a fucking winner, this is what you get, you know? And I've always felt like a fucking winner. And even the more step siblings I got and stuff, I always kind of felt like I was better. And I'm not saying that's justified. I'm just saying I always felt special. Yeah. And to look at where I'm at 28 is fucking disappointing.
It's been a rough couple of years. Just my thought process. It's like, fuck, man. Like 25 to now went so fucking fast.
Right.
It's crazy. Like you think 25, you're like, I still got lots of time. Like I could figure out what I want to do when I grow up. Yeah. Then you hit 29 and you're like, fuck, I'm going to be 30 next year. And I don't have the cars that I had posted on my walls when I was 16.
Pretty dope whip, I mean.
For sure. I'm not saying I've enjoyed my life. We've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of experiences that, you know, like Mike, he fell into that being a dad, being a family man thing, and that's what he wanted. But
it was just the most.
Does he look
clear
at us and envy us sometimes? Just like, man, I wish I could just say fuck it and do what I want. Get hammered on a Wednesday, even though I have to work the next morning, which it's hard for us still.
Oh.
But we can get hammered on a Tuesday and then go to work the next day and be fine because we don't have that much responsibilities.
Right. No, I barely like start a fire and get out the door to make it to work at a reasonable hour.
I guess it's all depending on what your quality of life is, what you want out of life.
Right. I think level of happiness.
Totally.
And just being with, I was thinking about like, I feel like a big reason of why I wasn't happy in my last relationship was I felt like I had parents again and I couldn't like truly do whatever the fuck I wanted because I was always just like held accountable for any time I was gone. If I was at Evans too long, I felt bad. If I was here too long, I felt bad, you know, and just like feeling like I didn't have freedom. And I don't think it would have worked either way, but just like those feelings came back. And just like when we moved out and started.
Was it you that felt bad, or did the girl make you, did she give you a bit of a guilt trip when you were out late?
So what took so long, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, we just got caught up. And she'd be like, okay, whatever. And just like passive aggressively, like go to bed. And I would just feel terrible for hours, you know, just similar to like my mom or something. But when I got out of that, I acted much like when I was 18 and we moved into our own place. Just fucking send it, dude, on everything. And it's not really beneficial to my life. But I also wouldn't trade in those experiences because they taught me a lot about how to responsibly enjoy yourself without completely fucking up everything else you have going on.
Yeah.
Like James tried to do to our podcast. Motherfucker.
Terrorist. Podcast terrorist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's illegal too. Just kidding. He was born in New Mexico.
And he's homeless.
He's good. Not yet, but he's about to be. I told him he can park in my driveway. He can't.
That was a lie.
Obviously a lie.
He can park in my driveway.
He's got a watchdog job for at least a couple months, which is good. Place to stay, some cash coming in. My camper's not going anywhere.
That's cool.
I really feel uncomfortable with other people like living in my camper and just in my anything. You know what I mean?
Me too.
It's like I got it
in my fucking backyard.
Yeah, I got it at this state, and it can only go downhill. But I know I will do everything I can to keep it from that. If somebody else sees like a leak or something, fuck it, you know? Whereas I was like, oh shit. Like went and bought some caulk and shit and started like cutting out shit and stealing new stuff. Just like, I do not want this to mold.
Yeah, after I shoveled the snow off my camper last week, I found all kinds of spots up top that I need to recaulk.
Really?
It's been sitting at my grandparents' house in the sun for years, you know? Shit gets old, starts cracking. Then I stepped on the fucking skylight going to the bathroom, that plastic dome. Yeah.
I broke the cover over the stove because I drove it through an oak tree. Tore that motherfucker off.
Taking it down to
Yeah.
the river.
Yeah. It's okay though. Could have been worse.
It was a nice place to stay when I was down there.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And
That's where I watched Joe Rogan's new special.
right? That'd be fresh.
It was good. And then I had my AR-15.
Right.
And I would walk around the greenhouse at night like I was a special force security.
This is a legal greenhouse. Everything's in order. Paperwork
Totally.
and everything.
It didn't need to be said.
Right. Just good to bring up.
Yeah, he grows organic tomatoes.
And green chili.
Super
Hot
dank
green chili.
That
Hot green chili.
hot shit was too hot.
Too hot. Yeah.
So hot.
Dude, the green chili I got is so perfect. I got 30 pounds of perfect green chili
We did
for
not
free.
get enough green chili this year.
Yeah. I got like
we ran out.
5 bags left. I'm
Yeah.
really concerned.
Yeah, we ran out.
I've been taking weeks off. I do like a bag, run a bag 1 week, and then no green chili next week. But a bag 1 week, done. Because if you leave it in the fridge for too long, it gets weird. So you really got to like commit
Yeah.
to eating 8 green chilies at a time, which I can easily do in a week.
Green
but
chili everything.
yeah, dude, green chili on everything.
Green chili gravy.
Kamaru Usman is a terrifying individual.
Who do you got?
I got T Wood, dog. Champ's champ. People's champ. I don't know.
Yeah, most likely.
But Kamaru Usman, literally, everybody's ducking him. Like, people have been avoiding this fight. But as far as adversity goes and facing it, Tyron Woodley is by far the best example of a long-term champ that can take any challengers.
He's adaptable. He really adapts to the way the fight's going.
Yeah.
And that sometimes makes him boring, but
No.
that's a smart fighter, and that's what sucks is sometimes the intellectual fighters get bad raps, especially from Dana White, because he's selling tickets. He wants to see
violence,
excitement. Yeah. And that's why I think he took so long to sign Ben Askren. It's because he was boring.
Ben Askren told him to go fuck himself like 12 times, so I get it. It's like, you know what? I really don't want to work with this guy. This is my company. I can hire who the fuck I want, kind of thing. But Ben Askren's in. DJ's out. Apparently, 125-pounder goat.
That sucks for
is-
DJ. I don't know how that.
I think
don't
the
know if
Asian market is so ridiculous. He's gonna be better off.
Yeah.
Financially. He's done it. You know what I mean? What's he gonna do? Move up to 135 and have to deal with TJ? Or I guess Henry now.
Mhm.
Now that Henry's beat him.
I want to see that fight again.
Yeah, that was bullshit. No, it wasn't. I get it. Like, I remember when it happened, I was like, that was a decent stoppage. But after hearing all the arguments against it, you're like, oh, they do make a good point.
Yeah.
125-pound hands aren't really doing that much.
Still, you got to, as a ref, I mean, you got to call it as you see it
Yeah.
at the time.
And there's no
Such
going
a
back.
Hard job.
There's no going back. It's not like football. There's no challenges.
Yeah.
Like, the ref makes
If your corner could throw in a yellow flag.
the ref makes a split-second decision, and that's the decision.
Yeah.
Just like the Ben Askren fight. Like, if they could, they would have been like, okay, get back in that position, go. Like the old school days.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not a possibility.
If you look at the fucking replay, the fight has to be over. There's no continuing the fight after the replay.
Yeah.
Look. Which, why the fuck do you have the replay?
For real.
What's the point?
What's the point?
Nobody, it's silly. I feel like you should use it as a tool when you have the opportunity to use it as a tool.
It's silly. It's just the government
Goddamn government.
commission bullshit. Makes sense, though. People
Oh shit. Oh shit.
fucking kill
Kamaru
each other.
Usman, single leg against the cage.
Oh, he's down.
Tyron's down, but he's got a guillotine. Oh shit. Usman with some body work in a guillotine in
Eventually, that's got to start hurting.
Tyron's guard. Yeah. 100%.
Right to the liver. Oh, the other side. Liver's on the other side.
Yeah. Left to the liver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I remember it. Because I heard somebody one time, they were like, he hit him with the right to the body. It wasn't even a liver shot. And since then, I've remembered, just like left to the liver.
Yeah, you can drop people with a liver shot because it has kind of the same effect as getting knocked out, but your body kind of like stops, freezes up, but your mind doesn't get knocked out like you got knocked out. So it's super painful, and you just kind of lose your legs.
You get a pee black and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, you can rupture your liver getting a liver shot.
It's crazy that this happens, but in a lot of the country, you can't smoke weed.
We live in a weird world.
You can sign up to get kneed in the face by Johnny Walker, but you could not smoke a bowl.
Right. Yeah, you could fucking skydive, bungee jump,
Yeah.
squirrel suit.
It's fucking insane to me. Walk in any fighting gym in the country. Well, any, kind of shady one, sign a piece of paper, and you can get knocked the fuck out.
If drugs were legal, cops wouldn't have anything to do. Anytime, 80% of the time I look at live PD or cops, it's drugs, just drug offenses.
I think cops
That's
should
all they do.
focus more on people driving on their cell phones, and less on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Nobody would, because there's not that much shit going on. There really isn't that much crime other than drugs.
Right.
At least what I've seen on live PD, it's always just like, well, sir, it smells like marijuana in here, or do you have anything illegal in your car? And then they look, and then there's fucking crack, and then they take them to jail. Like, is that the best way to run a civilization? Just keep putting people in jail for change it. Like and it's never like they did anything wrong other than they were driving and they had crack on them.
Right.
Or they had like expired tags, and then it was a convenient way for the cop to pull them over and then be like, "You're black, you have crack."
Right.
And they do. They usually do, and that's what sucks.
It's the bitch bass stereotypes, right?
But it's bullshit.
Right. Yeah, no, it
And
totally is.
And those uneducated people don't really know how to exercise their rights, and they just throw it all away right away.
Yeah.
And cops are trained to get you to throw your rights out the window.
Yeah.
Like
They're not gonna.
it's a game. They want to win,
Mm-hmm.
and they can fucking lie to you. Like they could say whatever they want to get you to admit shit.
Mm-hmm. No,
Oh.
it's super dark. Yeah, when I went to jail, the dude told me I wasn't. He was like, "Yeah, man, we're just gonna go up here, and then I'm gonna bring you back to your vehicle." And just drove around town and went straight to jail.
That's
Like,
weird.
what the fuck, dude? He's like, "Well, I don't want to tell you before, but you have a dangerous drug charge in Colorado." Like, what?
I just wanted you to be calm. That's probably what.
Yeah.
He didn't want you to be like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Yeah, I kind of get it, but I've been handcuffed in a plastic seat with no seatbelt. It's like, where's my seatbelt, bitch? Isn't it the law? What if you get in an accident? I'm scared. Cops are always going too fast anyway. It scares me.
You seen that video of that cop flying down the road with a dude in handcuffs behind him, and they wreck, and the dude flies out of the back window.
Yeah.
He wasn't buckled in.
No, there's no
It's like-
seatbelts in cop cars.
Yeah.
You're in a hard plastic seat with your hands cuffed behind you in metal,
And you haven't even gone to court and been proven guilty or innocent.
No, I got slammed against the vehicle and just they were not cool to me.
No idea who you were. Just like, if it was real, if it,
No,
it's
they were
crazy.
not nice to me at all. And I did not resist in the slightest. I walked up to them with my hands up, just like, I have no weapons, I have no drugs, I don't know what to tell you. But I understand I was in the wrong. I just don't think that's a good reason to assault somebody.
I think they're looking for that. I think they want to have that fucking
And probably
video
not
game
all of 'em.
style.
Yeah.
But a lot of them,
Yeah. They're just people.
yeah,
I look for excitement in my day all the time.
adrenaline,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people are looking for when they become cops.
Yeah.
They want that video game style. Fucking
Want to feel like a badass, want to feel like a hero, want to feel like they're in charge, they have power for once. But again, that's obviously not all cops, but there's There's something there. I think it's more common in corrections officers in jail and prison.
Yeah.
Those people were not cool. Granted, I was in the high security cell, so who knows who they book on that, you know? But and
Most of those guys are fucking alcoholics.
they were just and the inmates were just fucking with them. I totally get it.
Yeah.
You know, just every day, just smart ass comments, especially the women. The women were the most aggressive. Colby Covington is a ridiculous individual.
When I took you books in jail, they were all like drug books. Sex, drugs, Einstein and elves or whatever.
It was a good book. Hard to follow.
They really searched through those books.
Yeah.
They were like shaking them out and shit.
No, that's what the dude in Durango told me. Because I was like, they won't even... I was like, can I just get my letters? Like, I got them yesterday. It'd be cool to read them again. I've been in jail for a while.
Yeah.
Like, if I could hear what my friends and family had to say to me again. And he was like, can't trust that there's no drugs. Just like, just look at them.
Everything's got to be sealed.
Yeah. From Amazon. It has to come from Amazon.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Any book. Bullshit. But I was a fucking hero when I left San Juan County and gave all those motherfuckers my crosswords and my sweatpants, shit like that. They were like, yeah, fuck yeah. And everybody said the food would be way better. It was far superior in Durango.
Yeah.
Yeah. When a cop in Durango, when I first got there, was checking my asshole, I farted in his face. I felt bad. But I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he was like, Farmington mystery meat, what are you gonna do? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I ate something worse than spam for 22 days straight. Like, the first few days I didn't even eat, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna die, so
gotta eat something.
it's so rough. So rough, dude. Kafaro Usman is in the mount position, second round, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, and Tyron looks pretty calm.
He's getting beat up a little bit, though.
Yeah. Kamaru Usman's a monster.
Got a little blood coming out of his eye.
And after
Shoulder punching him.
Tyron knocked out Darren Till, Dana does not want Kamaru Usman to be the champ.
Maybe. I don't know how much he likes Tyron Woodley.
Well, after he knocked out Darren Till, he liked him a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think if you got Khabib at 155, Kamaru Usman at 170, it's just a matter of time before fucking a wrestler takes over every division and people stop watching fighting.
It's it's dominant. That's the whole thing about wrestling, is to be dominant. And it's
extremely effective.
Smart strategy.
Dude,
and there's something to be said about controlling somebody like that.
No, I'm not trying to brag, but I roll with purple belts, and there is an obvious advantage to my wrestling background.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck, dude, why are your hips so heavy? And it's like, I just know how to hold people down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, my body knows, you know? But if they can get a leg somewhere weird, who knows what might happen. Brian Moberg is one of the most formidable, like, on the regs, no matter how dominant I am. If I get top mount, he's in half guard like that. And just every time, just so quickly moving towards it, so clean. And he lets me make the mistake. Pushes me a little bit, and the second I'm like, go a little forward, he's in half guard. I'm like, motherfucker! You know? It's so frustrating, but he's making me better.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And he teaches the 630 class, which I'm grateful for.
Technique. Yeah.
Technique,
I need to
my
go.
friend.
I'm fucking shitty.
Yeah, I gotta go back this week. Last week I was plowing all week, and I just plowing chicks and
Plowing
snow,
single moms.
one or the other. And if you want to, single moms or jujitsu, but you can't do both like in the same 24-hour period, you know, because you're gonna be up till 2 in the morning and making 6:30 jujitsu when you've been up till 2 in the morning. Like, unless you want to puke on the freshly mopped mat, like, it's not happening. It's unfortunate though. Oh well, it's okay. It's just fun, man.
I just have to stay consistent.
Well,
I
the
go
habits.
and then I fucking stop.
It's all
and then I
habits,
go
yeah.
And I fucking stop, and I've never stayed consistent even since I was a little kid.
Yeah, if you have to make it not a choice. Like Wednesday I got super fucked up with James, stayed up till like 3 a.m. I was haggard as fuck on Thursday, and then decided not to go to stand up because I was talking to Dusty, and every time I tried to make a joke, it flubbed. And I was just like, fuck, my brain is not working. I don't think I can go on stage. And he's like, yeah, do not go on stage. So I text Dave and I was like, yo, dude, I'm not feeling great, whatever. And then I woke up Friday, I was just like, damn, I don't get to go on stage for a week.
Mm-hmm.
That was that night worth it? Like, could have started drinking water, but you have to feel bad about things to make changes in your behavior, I think.
Definitely. Boom. Big O elbow from Usman.
Yeah. This would have been a decent dog if you listened to the last podcast and you're a gambling man. Kamaru Usman would have been a good dog to bet on. Just because he has not shown any weakness whatsoever. Not that Tyron Woodley has, but it is...
He's been pretty dominant.
Other fucking level. I kind of want to see Tyron knock out Colby.
Yeah, I'm getting really tired of Colby Covington. I don't really like him. Hey, you could tell it's when people try so hard to be that type of person that you can tell it's fake. Like, I don't think that's how he actually is in a day-to-day basis. It's just kind of everybody's trying to be Connor now. Like, there's a lot of that going on.
Totally.
And you can tell when it's fake. Like, Connor's real about it.
Did you see the video of him recently? It was like today. He was trying to talk trash about Tyron Woodley, but it was just awful.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, you want Tyron Woodley to clean your rims or something? And then he was like, what? And he was like, Tyron, And then the caption on the video was like, Colby Covington isn't funny when he doesn't have cue cards on the camera or something. And it was awful.
Yeah, you can tell when people are fake.
And I try to be pretty real. I don't talk that much shit. And if I do, it's in a loving way, I think.
About James.
Yeah. I can beat James up for sure. So I'm not talking crazy shit, you know? Just letting a motherfucker know what reality is. James has this weird way of
pushing your buttons?
Not just mine. Andy broke a rib on him. Judo tossed his ass. And when he told me, I was like,
yeah,
totally.
Andy seems like the coolest, chillest guy.
Very chill.
Like, every time I've talked to him, he's been super chill.
But when you're really good friends with somebody, just like when you throw like a real dig at me and it hits me, I'm just like, oh shit, you know. But if you do that,
and then I feel so bad.
No.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
But if you do that for 30 minutes straight, and somebody's starting to feel real uncomfortable, and they're just like, I don't know how to stop this except violence. Like, James has gotten me so goddamn close to that.
I get to that.
I've almost murdered James, like many times. And if you listen to when this podcast started, you get that because I was venting on James hard, like.
Yeah, the guy that worked at Home Slice, you know him. He's a little more feminine, probably gay.
Oh yeah.
He definitely is gay. He's a cool guy.
The one we saw at Steamworks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gay as shit.
But
like the gayest person I've ever met in my life.
He's definitely gay, but one day he just kept giving me shit over and over and over, and I finally got to the point where I was just like, dude, I'm gonna fucking whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fucking around anymore. And he was like, I'm just playing. I'm like, dude, like, you get to a point where it's funny, but you can't just keep hitting the same thing over and over and over.
We're not that close.
No.
For one.
And I'm not that type of person. There's a lot of people in Durango that just like laugh, and I don't know. I'm not that type of person. My 505 will come out
100%
pretty quickly when it comes to I don't know. But I can like you giving me shit, that doesn't bother me. But like other people, I know what you're saying.
I feel like me and you have a line that we don't cross. Whereas I will talk way harder shit to James than I will to you. Because
we both give James so
fight,
much shit during those.
I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, a fight is a toss-up, whereas, like, Evan, whatever.
At this point, I got to stay standing.
That's a...
I can't go to the ground with you.
That's a really bully way to look at it. Yeah. And I'm not trying to, but it's just like... If I'm worried about physical violence, there's a line, you know. But with James, I think I could slap him in his face,
He's not a very big guy.
there wouldn't be physical violence. He punched me one time, and I almost murdered him, but I held back. Just like,
That's the really cool thing about jiu-jitsu is you learn how to control people and
Right.
be calm.
Worst case scenario, spin that motherfucker around.
And you can feel people who have no idea what they're doing underneath you. You can just feel them not knowing and panicking. You can feel panic in their body.
Talk slower.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, I was rolling with this white belt. He came to the morning class, Evan, and he's a video nerd. Our camera's dying. He's a YouTube video nerd, and he knows a lot. But he's still a white belt, so he's going way too hard with me. I'm just like, dude, I'm going to have to be really mean if you can't calm down a little bit. Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to cross-face the shit out of you and then try to hurt you as much as possible. Like, that's all I have if you keep being this aggressive. But if you just calm down, maybe we can work on some technique, go back and forth. But
Definitely.
if you try to hurt me, I might elbow you in the fucking nose. I can't. Nobody can in there, you know? Like, that's how you get hurt by anybody. Unless you're rolling with Griego, you better turn the fucking...
I focus more on trying to be calm.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Yeah. You have to
Breathe.
calm. Yeah.
I'm safe. Breathe. Like, that's my biggest thing. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
And I don't want to get hurt. And I want to be respectful to everybody, because that's when you get the best
100%.
advice from higher belts.
And it's also, I think a lot of it's based out of fear. It's fear to be out of control, fear to get hurt, fear to
strip your ego that you've
like
had
a loser.
for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's fear, and you gotta get tapped out to fit in, man. You gotta get fucked up to fit in.
No other way.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go in there and be the baddest person. There's no lies on the mat.
And if you
can't
act
fucking
like
lie,
that, it's not far off until somebody's like, all right, Griego or Dodge, come roll with this motherfucker and show him how we do it here. Just so he calms down. He's going to hurt somebody. But this dude was super receptive, but he's very aggressive. It reminds me a lot of when I started, you know?
Yeah.
But the first time I rolled with a girl was what pumped my brakes. You know, just like, whoa, I can't even... None muscle.
Right.
None muscle, all technique.
Yeah.
You know, she almost has to fall into something. I can't force shit because you can't just tap out a girl 5 times in 5 minutes. That's fucking rude, dude.
Get up. Fuck yeah!
Woo! Yeah. Just because you can
that's
outpower her.
You shouldn't ever celebrate with a fellow person in your gym.
It's not competition.
It's not.
No.
And
We're on the same team.
you know, how bad do you feel when you get tapped out? Like, but still, like, with a new person,
No, it hurts.
It hurts, and especially if you throw it in their face.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Oh.
See that shit?
Well, that's how fights start.
Yeah. And that's not a place to fight. You get
Well,
worked.
Everybody signed to release.
That's why it's not a
You
good place
took
to fight.
responsibility for your actions.
Go get worked.
Yeah, and like I said, if you're being too aggressive, it's not long before you get somebody that can no doubt handle your aggression. And,
Humble your ass.
Yeah. Like, or Caden. Jesus Christ. I couldn't imagine, like, if I was being too aggressive and they're like, all right, you think you're tough? Here's Caden. Because me and Caden were very friendly, and he terrified the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Dude, like a monster pulling you underwater. I've never been so intimidated by, like, a human being. Like, Dodge is close, but he's nice. Caden was terrifying.
I saw this picture on Instagram, and it was like a little kid about to jump into a pool, and he's got floaties on his arms, and then there's like the instructor like waiting to catch, and like over that little kid's head it says white belt on his first day.
Yeah.
And like the instructor's like, come on in the water, and then there's a kid right next to the instructor like about to drown and it's like 2-stripe white belt.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
he's like, the the instructor's like, come on in to the first guy, and then just drowning next to him. It's funny.
That's only if you fight it. It's like drugs. If you fight it, you will suffer so much more. But if you just accept that you will be tapped and you will suck, and you accept that everybody's better than you and everybody has something to teach you,
even then you still feel like you're drowning.
Right, but you will be brought in with love, other than people just like, okay, you want to be shown your bitch,
right.
Like, let's do this, you know?
I think that's just life.
Totally.
Like,
but you gotta have some balls sometimes, but yeah, don't. It's like everything. Like, there's levels to everything, right? And if you walk in and think you know what the fuck's up, you're bound to be humbled. And Kate McLaughlin called me a pussy last week, which was hilarious. And I still think about it. Did I tell you about me and Evan were driving up to Purgatory, ordering from Hermosa? And Evan's like, you want green chili and bacon? I was like, yeah, dude, get me whatever the fuck you would get. And he was like, we're going to be disappointed because they don't serve dicks on burgers. I laughed for 5 minutes, dude. I still think about that. It was amazing.
Fuck yeah,
the
Evan.
timing, and the person had already ordered or answered on the phone, so she heard it, which was amazing. There was layers to what happened, and I think Evan forgot, but I think about it every day.
He's getting better.
He's getting quick, yeah. And he's crossing the line much less. Like, he used to just be like, yeah, but I hope your mom dies. Whoa. Stole a dick joke.
0 to 100 real quick.
But he was just, trying to.
Every time I look up, Usman's just shoulder punching him.
Yeah. The shoulder punch. Very little utilized technique, but for the wrestler, makes much sense.
Just don't seem to get a lot of leverage.
Yeah, but it's like getting hit by Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? You're just getting 50%. 50%. But every time somebody hits you in the face, you have a hard time breathing, and it just starts wearing on you. Ref stood him up. 4th round, 130. Usman was dry humping him.
The whole fight.
Woodley's got a fucking ass on him, huh?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Goddamn plow.
I think that's what he nicknamed his dick.
Goddamn plow. You ready for the plow?
It's aggressive, but if you got the piece to back it up, I get it.
Getting pieced up.
Dude. Usman's striking. Look at this.
Boom, 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 boom. I don't know.
This fight's getting close. Woodley does not have confidence in his eyes.
He needs to stop getting hit.
Good advice, Phil. I wonder what his corners are saying.
Stop getting hit!
For the love of God, stop getting punched in the face.
Usman's not backing down.
No, he's
getting
pretty sure he's meant to be the champion. Kamaru Usman.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, going for another takedown. Tyron's on the cage. We're just going in and out of fight talk.
It's been fun.
My dick's been feeling weird recently. Mostly because I stopped watching porn.
Look at Kobe Covington behind him.
Or is it?
Holding his fucking
Jesus Christ.
fucking belt.
MAGA
his MAGA hat.
Fucking shit show. Damn. Tyron Woodley's not looking super confident right now.
Yeah. God damn it, I gotta pee again.
Got one more round. Do you want to just close this bitch?
Yeah, we got 108 minutes.
We're just going to close this bitch down.
We love you fuckers.
Yeah, we love you. Happy Wednesday. Listen to the Whiskey Reel. Check out Hip Hop Trip on SoundCloud. At GLW Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Greenlight Weekend on YouTube and Facebook. Greenlightweekend@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Welcome to this was the first Greenlight Weekend Fight Club. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I guess, let us know.
Skip this one and go to the one with fucking James.
Fucking James. Yeah, me and Phil fucked James. It was weird. It's on video, though. You'll be fine. All right. Thank you, guys. Happy Wednesday. We love you.
Peace.
Peace.